Hello, Oracles. Well, Tesla is going to have an epic end to the year, according to Elon on the earnings call. So looking forward to this. I'm going to give you guys a quick little recap over what happened at the earnings call. I'll do another one in the morning as well as I digest more of this information, but just to lay down some of the numbers for you guys so you can go over it. So Tesla did beat expectations based upon what the analysts had said. So they had an expectation of 88 cents for GAAP EPS. They came in at 95 cents. They had non-GAAP expectations of EPS for $1 and they came in at $1.05. Clearly the market is reacting positively to all this as we are now down over 5% after hours. So again, when it comes to Tesla stock movements, you never know what's going to happen. Tesla beat numbers. Tesla gave us a lot of great positive information on the earnings call, and the stock still sold off. So again, when it comes down to what my personal feelings are on this, I'm buying. So not financial advice, but this to me is a great buying opportunity. I've seen it happen in the past. One of the key things that I've taken away from watching many other earnings that go on for other companies as well is when you see a company beat earnings and sell off afterwards, that's a great buying opportunity. As far as I am concerned, if we're looking at market manipulation, I can say, you know what? I think that market manipulators are intentionally pulling the stock down because they see that the company is going to do extremely well in the future. So they're bringing the stock down so that this way retail investors will paper hand and sell out so they can buy even lower because they want to be able to get a better return on their investment than they can even at these prices. That's my personal take on this. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I don't have any facts to back it up, but I've seen it happen way too many times for that to not be true. So you guys can let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. But either way, I'm taking this as a great buying opportunity. So they beat all those numbers there. Energy one, there was another one I was looking at. So expectations were 940 million. They came in at 1.1 billion. A little bit lower than what I had expected, but still beating expectations. Elon on the call had stated that they're looking for energy to be growing at 150 to 200% year over year. He said that's going to just be miles ahead of where EVs are growing at 50% year over year growth. They did reiterate that when it comes to production, on an average basis, they are still going to be continuing to look at 50% year-over-year growth. When it comes to deliveries, they could be expecting that to be a little bit less as they smooth things out and not do the end of the quarter pushes as they had done in the past. So they did tell us that for Q4, expect that they are going to have the same situation that we had at the end of Q3, and we will probably have more production than deliveries as they smooth things out. Now, don't forget, that's not a bad thing because going into Q1 of next year when we have the EV tax credit and China is going to have their EV tax credit extended as well, this is going to end up moving more vehicles out over the next year. So it's not a demand problem, it's just delayed demand. So we will see even bigger numbers coming in 2023. And they also did say that they do intend on selling every single vehicle that they can produce for the foreseeable future. So this is not going to be going away anytime soon. It's not like they're going to be sitting on inventory. They are going to be selling every single one of these vehicles. They're just doing a lot of cost-cutting savings for when it comes to that last-minute push for all of the different logistics that go on when it comes to shipping. This will actually save them money and they'll be able to put more money on the bottom line by doing it this way and smoothing out that wave. Now, when it comes to free cash flow, they brought in $3.3 billion in free cash flow and added over $2 billion to their cash bottom line. So now they have $21 billion in a cash pile. So looking at 2023, a question was asked to them about how they would handle the economy and the company if we got into a deep recession. So Elon did say that they're not recession proof, but they're extremely recession resistant. So they would have to go through some massive hard storms in the economy before they even have to tap into their cash reserves to be able to get through any of these times, because they have so much cash flow coming in that even with all of the cash flow they have coming in, even if we do get to dark recessionary times, they could still do a $5 to $10 billion buyback next year. So based upon that and the question that was asked, Elon said they have been having discussions about it. They've had a lot of people asking them about this. So it sounds like they are most likely going to be doing a buyback next year. So he said between $5 to $10 billion, sounds like it makes a lot of sense. So we'll probably end up hearing about a $5 to $10 billion buyback next year at some point. I think they really just want to get a grasp on what the macroeconomics are looking like around the world before they make that final decision. And a monster note that Elon had mentioned when it comes to the company and the size and the growth of it was, in the past, he had said that they will probably end up passing Apple as far as the largest company in the world based upon market cap. Elon said tonight that they're most likely going to be surpassing Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. And that is without Optimus. That is massive. Elon said this is the first time he's actually been able to foresee this potentially happening. He said it's not guaranteed. They've got a lot of hard work and things that they need to go through in order to get to that point, but he actually sees a path that can potentially get them there without Optimus. So, with energy growing at 150 to 200% year over year, that is going to be larger than EVs. If EVs alone were potentially going to be able to get them to the size of Apple, put energy on top of it. I've said it before myself that, combining energy and EVs is like combining those two companies together, and they could potentially be that big. And now Elon has said it himself. So this is a massive growth for the future. It gave me a lot of excitement that I wanted to add more shares myself. I just want to add more money to the company. But I'm still going to be wise with my investments. I'm still going to add daily as I do and still follow my plan. But that just got me really excited for the future, and I want to get more cash flow coming into myself to be able to invest more. And now when it comes to production, they did say that Fremont, it continues to grow and hit another record quarter, so they're continuing to grow over there. We saw Shanghai hit that number as well in September, and then we were also looking at Berlin hitting 2,000 vehicles per week, and he said Austin is at a run rate at that place right now, so very soon Austin will be at 2,000 vehicles per week as well. So both of those factories are ramping very nicely. Cybertruck is starting to get into those productions. Sounded like on the call, sounded like Elon is actually going to have his Cybertruck that he's going to be driving around with very soon. We did see pictures of those down in Austin, to what looked like Cybertrucks covered in tarps. So I'm guessing maybe one of those is actually Elon's. We will find out, but sounds like this is coming along nicely, and we'll see that. They did talk about the Semi as well. We know that the Semi is coming to Pepsi in December. December 1st, Elon will be there to give the first deliveries to them. And Elon said in a shocking number, and Brian and I were talking about it on our live stream, how I thought that they might be able to push out 10,000 Semis next year. And I know that's an aggressive number. Elon said that they will hit 50,000 by 2024. So my aggressive number of 10,000 in 2023 is like a joke compared to what they're looking for in 2024. So we'll see if this actually comes to fruition, but that is a monster number coming for the Semi. And they did say that the Semi is worth about, it says several Model Ys is what the value would be on them. So think about every single Semi that they sell. If they're going to be selling 50,000 of them in 2024, that's basically the equivalent of 150,000 Model Ys. Now, they were also asked about the demand issues that were going on over in China and what they could comment about that, and there was silence for a while. And these are little things that I pay attention to when the questions are asked, is how are they reacting and how are they answering? Not so much the words that they're using, but their mannerisms behind it. And so the mannerisms obviously were dead silence. And when Elon did start talking, I think he was just trying to be very politically correct and politically gentle with the answer, because China this morning, if you guys had not been paying attention, had come out and, they hit very low GDP numbers. They're negative. They're looking at a very deep recession potentially happening over there. So economically, China is not doing well. And I think Elon wanted to be gentle behind that answer, because the demand for Teslas over in China, is definitely showing over there. Demand, not issues, but not as strong as it was in the past. And it's not just a Tesla specific thing. I think it's everything. I think their entire economy is having this issue. So Elon wanted to be gentle about that answer and not come out and say that directly. But that could potentially be something that we could see happening in the near term. But again, this is most likely going to be a near-term headwind and not anything that's going to be major long-term impact. I think long-term, they are still going to do very well. Seems like, in even the question that they had over in Berlin about energy issues that they could potentially face over the winter, same thing. They said, they don't foresee any of these things being an issue over in Germany right now, but if it does come to be a problem, they don't think it's going to be a major problem. It'll be something that is a near-term issue, very similar to what we saw in Shanghai for the COVID lockdowns, but because Germany is not to the place where Shanghai was, we are not going to see the major impact like we had seen over in Q2. And Elon did reiterate on the call that FSD wide release is going to be coming probably in the next month, definitely before the end of the year. So we will see that. And obviously, he sees 100% chance of them getting full autonomy. It's going to come down to regulators at that point, and then being able to convince the regulators that they need to, change the laws to be able to allow level 4 and level 5 autonomy vehicles on the road. So that's something they're going to be facing down the road, but they feel that they will be 100% having this solved. And he was was also asked about Twitter. I didn't think they were going to talk about it much on this call at all, but somebody asked and Elon brought it up in a very short, brief conversation discussing how, he doesn't foresee all of his companies being under one umbrella, at least not right now. But he does see that Twitter could have a lot of potential in the future, and the value of it, he's getting a lot of flack, obviously, for saying that he's bought it and paid way too much for it. But he feels that it's going to grow and be more valuable than it is right now, which is why he's okay with getting it, and he thinks it's going to provide great value in the future. So again, how this could potentially tie in and help Tesla out, a lot of speculations behind that, the advertising type thing that goes around it, just kind of broadening the horizon of stuff, could potentially be out there. We'll see how that plays out, but they did mention that a little bit on the call. And discussing the 4680 ramp and how that is going, they are 3x what they were in Q2. So they have been speeding up the ramp of the 4680s significantly, and they see that continuing in the forward. This is a major component of the company in the future, so they want to be able to make sure that they ramp this nicely. Seems like they are moving in that direction. The Semi right now is using the 2170 batteries, but they do intend on having it using 4680s in the future. Right now, Model Ys are coming out of Austin with structural packs and 4680s. And the Cybertruck is going to have it as well. So we will see as this progresses forward, and as they continue ramping up the 4680s, they're going to continue to make the mix of this happen and mix more of the vehicle lineup with 4680s as they come out, as they ramp further with this. But as they said back at Battery Day, they had discussed how their timeline for all of the 4680s was going to go through 2026. Elon said they will most likely achieve those goals before then, but there's still a few years that they need to work things out to get to that point. So it's still going to be a slower ramp in getting to that point, but we are moving in that direction, and it's going to cut costs significantly when it comes to the 4680s. And they did say that they wanted to have 1,000 kilowatt hours worth of batteries produced in the US on an annual basis. So that's a huge number for them to achieve. And Elon said that they're looking to get to $70 per kilowatt hour per cell out of this as well, and that is before all of the credits that they get for the EV tax credit in the IRA. So that's just massive numbers of dollars coming in for them. Haven't even run the numbers on it yet. So we'll look at those numbers to see how much that's going to be adding to their bottom line. But that is a massive number, especially if that is going to be just them alone. And Elon is also saying that, that is just them producing 1,000 kilowatt hours. They're also looking at other manufacturers out there producing that much as well. And that is going to help the entire EV revolution happen and the entire world switching over to sustainable energy. And other than Elon mentioning how Tesla can be as big as Apple and Saudi Aramco combined without Optimus, that was the only time that Optimus was even mentioned on this call whatsoever, which was kind of strange. The last couple of calls we heard a lot about Optimus, nothing about it this time around. So, just thinking about the potential of what that could mean in the future, if Tesla's going to be the size of Apple and Saudi Aramco combined without Optimus, and Optimus is going to be the largest S-curve that we are going to be seeing out of Tesla, what does that mean for the future of the stock price? You guys can let me know in the comment what you think that could potentially mean. So again, I love the earnings today. I thought it was a great number. For me, I don't look at, how we beat expectations from analysts. I'm going to be looking at how are we growing, and we are growing very well in the direction that we want to be growing. So for me, I don't care what the stock price does. I see the company is moving where it needs to be. I am very happy with that. You guys can let me know in the comments below how you feel about it. I'm going to go over all of the notes again. I'm going to take a look at the numbers again. I will give you guys a secondary recap in the morning with any other insights that I come up with and any other things that you guys have come up with as well from yourself, and we'll discuss those in the morning. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon, that link is also in the description. Thank you so much, have a great one.